Good evening, leaders around the world. You're especially welcome to today's session. Today, we're having with us Emmanuel Jacob. He will be leading us in this session. But before we bring him on, I welcome you all to this special session. Today's topic will be discussing the power of now with Emmanuel Jacob. He's a speaker and a business consultant. Please hold on while we set things up and then bring up our speaker.
Ah, it's not easy. We want to.
Good evening, Mr. Emmanuel. Are you set for this session, sir?
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome to, yes, I can hear you clearly. You're welcome to Leaders Sports Company. Very soon we'll be reading your profile before we welcome you. Thank you for joining us today. Please hold on while we connect and set things. Please, if your microphone is unmuted, please mute your mics. Yes, I can hear you. You're welcome once again, Mr. Emmanuel. I'll be sharing your profile very soon, and I'll be welcoming our director of programs in person of Ronke. She'll be reading your profile to the public before we begin this session. Ronke, please, are you set for this session?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
All right. I would share the profile now, and then you read the profile. All right, you can take over, Ronke.
Okay. Emmanuel Jacob is a passionate, dynamic speaker who is committed in helping young people attain their highest level of greatness and effectiveness through training, coaching, and consulting. He's been able to reach thousands of young people across Africa through his speaking engagements, trainings, and mentoring programs. A committed partner of some NGOs and a communicator by excellence, skilled in organizational leadership, interpersonal and problem-solving skills for youth and community development, providing trainings, mentorship for young people in leadership and entrepreneurship. He has delivered results-oriented keynote speeches and trainings for several youth conferences, seminars, workshops in Nigeria, Republic of Benin, South Africa, and Ghana, with focus on leadership and entrepreneurship, communication and community development while addressing critical issues that affect young people in Africa. He is a facilitator and trainer at Leadpreneur Academy and in an international learning center for professionals, skill acquisition programs, online and offline degree programs, with affiliations in Dubai, Malaysia, and India. He is the program director for Impact Africa, creating training programs for student leaders in Africa on peace and conflict resolution, emotional intelligence, leadership, and public speaking. He co-organized the Peace Conference for Student Leaders in the University of Ghana, and there were delegates from over 7 universities across Africa. He is also the Publicity Secretary for Nigeria Debate Society, an organization that promotes leadership among young people through debate competition and public speaking contests. He is a member of the organizing committee and director of sponsors and partnership of Brainwalk Project, a project that has reached over 10,000 youth across Africa through major conferences and community services and charity. Leaders, please make welcome Mr. Emmanuel Jacobs.
You're welcome, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're welcome.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Good evening, sir. Yeah, how are we doing today?
We are so great.
Very fine, sir. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. I'm so excited to be here this evening. And my name is Emmanuel Jacob, and I'm a passionate dynamic speaker. So what I do is I help individuals and organizations to attain the highest level of greatness and effectiveness through speaking, coaching, and consulting. Please, I want to be sure that every one of you here can hear me. So please, if you can hear me, I want you to signify that you can hear me, please.
We can hear you very well, sir, clearly.
Okay, so we're good to go, right? We're good to go, right? Are we good to go?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I'm so excited to be here today. And I think this is um, my second or third virtual event for the year. And I'm glad to be here to be sharing some thoughts with you. And first of all, I would like to thank the organizers of this program for putting up this wonderful event. It's always beautiful whenever we have opportunities to share ideas and learn from each other. So I will encourage all of you to make this session as interactive as possible so I can also learn from you. So they asked me to speak on the power of now. The power of now. Now, for me to say the power of now, it means that there is power in the now. So we are going to unveil the power that we have in acting in the now. And I believe that every one of us here, we are all leadership. We are all leaders. And one of the things leaders have been known for is that they are proactive, right? So John Maxwell said a leader is someone who knows the way, goes the way, and then shows the way. And you don't have to occupy a certain position to be a leader, right? So once you've discovered something that you want to do in life, once you discover the change, once you discover the solution that you want to solve, the problem that you want to solve, the solution you want to provide in the generation, you are automatically a leader. So I want to be speaking on the power of now. In our generation today, we live in a world of well said and very few well done, right? So we have a lot of people who are good in saying, who are very, very profound when it comes to saying, but we only have few people that are actually doing the stuff. And we live in a generation where we are actually drowning in information. I did the research and I discovered that information doubles every six months. So the amount of information we have in the world doubles every six months. So from now to the next 6 months, there's going to be a multiplication of information. So the problem we have in our generation really is not lack of information, but application of information. And most people cannot even apply the information they get because they've not understood the information. So the process of transformation is first of all you get the right information, right? So the right information will help you to understand the things that you need to start doing, the things you need to stop doing, and the things you need to improve on doing. Okay, so after you've gotten the right information, you now understand how can you apply this information in order to change your situation, right? So understanding information gives you the capability to apply the information. So after you've understood the information, you now go ahead to apply the information. Information does not bring transformation, but applied information brings transformation. So today, I hope that every one of us here today will not just be those who will take in this information, but we will be among those who will apply the information that we are getting so we can create the desirable results that we want for ourselves. Now, the theme of this event is Head Start. So, how do you give yourself that head start? How do you give yourself that leverage? How do you give yourself that unfair advantage to thrive in extreme times? If you look at all that has happened in the world today, you discover that one thing has been consistent, and the thing that has been consistent is inconsistency, right? So there's been a lot of changes, a lot of things that we did not anticipate, we did not predict, and a lot has happened from 2020 to this very moment, and a lot is still happening. And so many people are out of businesses, so many people are struggling, so many people have lost their jobs, right? So the only thing that has been consistent is inconsistency. And for you to thrive in a time like this, you must learn how to game the game. You must learn how to be proactive, right? And that is what this event is all about, giving you that head start that you need to thrive and not just survive in extreme times. Because with all that has happened in in these past few months and last year, is very very easy for us to to let our guard down, to let our goals down, and say, man, there is nothing really to do actually. Now the thing is, 2020 broke a lot of us. Most people left 2020 broke and broken. So when it got to 2021, a lot of people were demotivated. They have no plans for the year. They have no goals for the year. They have no expectations for the year. They are just like, whatever this 2021 brings, then let's go with it. And it is very, very important that no matter what you lose in 2020, or no matter what you've lost in 2020, one thing you should not lose is your confidence. Confidence is very, very important if you want to have a good head start. If you want to not just make the rest of the year, but not just get the best from the year, rather, but to get the best from the decade, you must have confidence. Because if you don't have confidence, you will surely find a way to lose. People that lack confidence, they always find a way to lose. And experience tells you what to do, but confidence allows you to do it. So if there is one thing that you need to have in this 2021, you must have confidence. You must be able to believe in yourself. And courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. So the thing is, human beings, we want consistency, right? So whenever there is a change, or whenever there is uncertainty, our brain usually goes into survival mode, right? So as human beings, whenever we are exposed to danger, it's either we fight, we fly, or we freeze, right? So it's called fight, flight, and freeze. These are the three ways people react to danger, people react to uncertainty. And the truth is, most of the things we consider danger or fear are not really real. They are just, imaginations that we have in our head. It's true that dangers are real, right? But it's true that danger is real, but fear is basically false expectations appearing real. So today I want to give you that boost. I want to give you that courage. I want to help you to deep down inside of you and discover that strength that you have, that you need to thrive. One of my favorite quotes is, if you faint in the days of adversity, your strength is little. Adversity always comes to test our strength, right? And sometimes life don't necessarily get easier, but we just get stronger. So don't always wish for things to get easier for you, but ask yourself, how can I become a better version of myself because of this? A lot of people who give up in the days of adversity will never discover their next level ability. Whenever you want to launch into your next level ability, whenever you want to launch into your next phase of greatness, you must be able to encounter adversity. So the power of now. The truth is, nothing has ever been done in the past, and nothing will ever be done in the future. Everything that is happening in the now. Let me repeat myself. Nothing has ever been done in the past, and nothing will ever be done in the future. Everything that is happening is in the now. There is no such thing as tomorrow. Basically, tomorrow is just a concept that we've created in order to keep hope alive, right? So you see, so 20 today is 16th of January 2021. So I remember maybe last year we'll be saying next year we'll do this, next year we'll do this on the 16th of January we'll be having this event, right? And now this event is happening today. This event is not happening in the future. This event is not happening in the past, but it is happening in the now. And that is why they say what lies before us and what lies behind us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. It is in the now that changes are being created. It is in the now that actions are being implemented. It is in the now that we execute, right? So nothing has ever happened in the future and nothing will happen in the past. Everything that is happening right now. And that is the power that we have, right? So we have little or no control with what has happened in the past, and we have no much control with what is going to happen in the future. But what we have control over is what is happening in the now. And that is why if you want to thrive in whatever you're doing, you must be able to wear three different lenses. And one of the lenses you need to wear is one of the things you need to wear is your rear view mirror. So basically, what does your rear view mirror does for you? Your rear view mirror helps you to look at the past, right? So you look at the past, and the only reason why you should look at your past basically is to measure your progress and ask yourself, what has brought me to this point in my life? What have I learned from it? Am I going through life or am I growing through life? Your past shouldn't be a place where you should dwell in. Rather, your past should be a place where you should look back and reflect and pick up valuable lessons and move on. So one of the lenses you need to wear is your rear view mirror. So basically, if you're driving a car, you have your rear view mirror, right? Your rear view mirror is what shows you what is happening ahead of you. So basically, your rear view mirror shows you
We're sorry about the break in transmission. Mr. Emmanuel is having issues with network. Generally, network has been misbehaving. We hope he joins soon. So hold on while we connect him. Thank you.
Remember me.
You're welcome back, sir. Mr. Emmanuel, you're welcome. Please unmute yourself, sir. Your microphone is
Hello.
mute. Yeah, hear you now.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I got. Hello.
We can hear
Hello.
you now. We can hear you
We
now.
can hear you now, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Okay. I'm so sorry. My Wi-Fi got disconnected, so I was trying to fix it. Hello. Okay. So I'll quickly like to. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. You can continue, sir.
Okay, good, good, good. So I'll quickly like to go into the business of the day. So I want to share with you some of the reasons why people don't act in the now, because I told you before that nothing has ever happened in the past or in the future. Everything that is happening in the now, right? So today was once in the future, and now that we are in today, is called today. It's no longer called tomorrow. So this event is not happening in the past. This event is not happening in the future. Rather, it's happening in the now. That was why I said before that nothing has ever happened in the past or in the future. Everything that is happening in the now, right? So when the now is over, we call it the past. And when we are anticipating the now to happen, we call it the future. And the change that we are seeking for is only created by those who are willing to act in the now. So now, if the now is very, very important and if the now is very, very powerful in shaping and changing our lives, why is it that most people don't act in the now? Why is it that most people don't leverage or take action? Because the truth is, information does not change situation. You can have all the precepts, you can have all the concepts, you can get all the ideas and gems and all the knowledge that will be shared in this masterclass. But until you take action, nothing will change about your situation. Until you take action, nothing will change about your life. So it is in the now that you shape your destiny. It is in the now that you create your life. It is in the now that you create your future. So everything that is ever going to happen for you this year or the rest of the decade is going to be created in the now and not in the future, right? So the future basically is where we look in to see where we want to be, right? So everything starts with a vision. So first of all, you need to have a vision, and a vision basically is a preferable mental picture you have about the future. So where you want to be, that's the vision, right? So when you've created a vision, when you set goals for yourself, when you've set action plans for yourself, when you set milestones for yourself, the everything you plan comes into reality in the now. It is in the now that you create it. And the truth is, tomorrow is not even guaranteed, right? And all we have every day is 86,400 seconds. And what we do with that 86,400 seconds will determine the outcome of our life, will determine how far our life will be, will determine whether we are making progress or we are still in the same place. So if the now is very, very important in our life, why is it that people are not taking action? Why is it that people are not acting in the now? So first of all, let's understand why people are not acting in the now and how they can break free and start acting in the now. Now, number one is hopelessness, right? So when people think nothing, there is no point trying in the first place. So let's say you have a plan or you have a goal and then you feel hopeless about your plan. It will demoralize you and make you not to be willing to act in the now. So when you've come in a state of a hopeless situation, you will lose your will to fight and you will lose your strength to keep pushing. Hope may not be a strategy, right? So during strategy sessions, we always tell people that hope is not a strategy, but hope is that grease. Hope is that oil that takes friction out of life, right? If you want to make progress in life, if you want to keep pushing regardless of all that you've been through, you need to have hope. So when people come in a state of hopelessness, they fail to activate the power of the now. Now, I always tell people that there is no such thing as a hopeless situation. We only have people who have grown hopeless about a situation. Let me repeat myself. There is no such thing as a hopeless situation, but we only have people who have grown hopeless about a situation. So when you think there is no point trying, okay, you reap yourself the power to act in the now. And remember, it is in the now that you create the change that you want for yourself. It is in the now that you activate your destiny. It is in the now that you activate your future. And another reason why people don't act in the now is helplessness. So when they think that no matter what they put in or no matter any effort they put in, that they cannot effect any change, it's called a state of learned helplessness. So you see, this is the way it has always been, and there is no point trying. A lot of people have come to a state of learned helplessness. They have learned how to become comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. So they've learned how to make excuses for themselves and tell themselves there is no point trying. I mean, these goals or these dreams are so ambiguous and I am helpless. I don't have the resources, I don't have the network, I don't have the ability, I don't have what it takes to execute this project. And once you start having such mindsets, you give away your power. The state of learned helplessness creates doubt. I remember when you start doubting your power, you give doubt your power. Remember, we're talking about the power of the now. How can we activate the power that we have in the now? How can we use what we have in the now to shape our destiny? Listen, everything that is happening in your life is happening in the now. And at this moment, what you are doing this moment is a reflection of the choices that you are making in your life. And where you will be tomorrow is because of what you are doing in the now. Where you will be in the next 3, 4, 5 years is because of what you're doing in the now. So I tell people, don't show me what your commitments are. Tell me what your routine are. Tell me what your rituals are. Tell me what you always do in the now. Tell me what you always do every day. And I will tell you where and what your commitments are. And commitment basically means doing what you said you're going to do long after the initial excitement has left you. So whenever we get to the beginning of the year, most people are usually excited. 2021 is going to be my year. I'm going to smash these goals. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. There is this hype and vibe and everything. And at that moment, the mood is right, the energy is there, everybody feels so excited. And then maybe after the first quarter of the year, you encounter one or two challenges, and then adversity hits you so hard. Will you still be able to push through even in the face of adversity? So most people have given up the power to act in the now because they feel helpless about their situation. Now, the truth is, whatever situation you are in now, there can always be a way to try. There can always be a way. The reason most people don't activate that power is because they ask themselves the wrong questions, right? So they ask themselves, why is this happening to me? And our brain basically is designed to give us answers to every question we ask it. So when you ask yourself, why is this happening to me? Your brain will tell you it is happening to you because you are not smart. It is happening to you because you are poor. It is happening to you because you have the wrong. The brain will give you so many reasons why this thing is happening to you. But when you ask yourself, how can I create the kind of life that I want for myself? What can I learn from this situation? What is this condition trying to teach me? How can I navigate or how can I get the breakthrough that I desire? So another reason why people don't act in the now is, and this is very, very important, right? So as you're setting your goals for the year, most people set goals that are very, very overwhelming. So when you look at it from the big picture perspective, you feel so overwhelmed and you say, oh my, this thing is very, very big. How sure am I? that I can execute this, right? So when you overwhelm yourself with so much tasks, with so much activity, it makes you to stay in a state of inaction, right? So you lose the will or the desire to act. So what I usually advise people is that when you set big goals for yourself, break down your goals into little milestones, break down your goals into small milestones, and say, this is what I'm going to be doing every day, right? So when you set a big goal for yourself, ask yourself, what can I be doing every day that can help me to get to the big goal? Now set the big goal, take your mind off the big goal, and focus on the small daily tasks that you know, if you keep at it, if you are consistent at it, it will help you to get that bigger result that you seek for. And progress equals happiness. Progress gives us motivation. So if you, okay, for instance, I want to lose weight. One of my goals for this day might be to lose weight, right? So what I'll do is, I wouldn't, my goal might be to lose 20 kg in the first quarter of the year. That's the goal. But my daily task is I will have to do 20 or 30 push-ups every day. So this is the milestone I'm setting for myself. And once I keep at it, so every little progress I make, I celebrate it. So you have to break down your goals into specific milestones. You have to break down your goals into specific plans that can help you to have small wins, right? So you have micro wins until you get to your big win. And then each win you have, you celebrate a little and then you keep pushing because progress equals motivation. Progress helps you to keep pushing and activate the power of the now. Another reason why people don't act in the now is what we call self-labeling. A lot of people have given themselves so many labels. They tell themselves, I'm a lazy person, I'm a procrastinator. Now listen, it is very important that you mind the words you use to describe yourself. Okay, so I do coaching for people, and sometimes when I help people who are addicted to a certain behavior try to break free, okay, so I don't call, okay, let's say I'm helping someone who is a smoker, right, to break free from an addictive behavior. I don't call the person a smoker. I only call the person his name and say, you happen to smoke. So let's say, I wouldn't say Emmanuel is a smoker. I will only say Emmanuel smokes. The reason is because once you've given yourself an identity, once you've given yourself a name, our human brain always wants to act in consistent to the identity we've given to ourselves. So I don't tell somebody you are a hot-tempered person. I make sure that I don't label people. Labeling is very powerful. So most people, I've seen some people who say, I'm a very hot-tempered person. I'm a very hot-tempered person. And they will always want to prove that they are hot-tempered in every given situation. So when an incident happens or when an occasion arises, even though they are not supposed to be angry or they're not supposed to react to anger, they will react to anger in order to prove to you. And then they'll tell you, you see what I told you, I'm a very hot-tempered person. Reason is because labeling is very important. And a lot of us have been labeled wrongly. Most of us have even been labeled by our friends, by our teachers, by people we look up to, and somehow this thing is affecting us subconsciously. We may not understand why we are acting in a certain way. We may not understand why we are scared to do some certain things. We may not understand why we don't speak out. We may not understand why we don't have big dreams. We may not understand why we are not passionate about our academics or anything at all because of some of the things that has been said to us, that has been some of the labels that have been given to us when we're growing up, right? So let's say when you were in primary school, you didn't do well in mathematics, and then your math teacher called you Olodo. You know, that Olodo is the labeling, right? So most people don't understand how powerful these words are. And this is the sad reality that most adults are still living out the opinions or the labels that they were given when they were very small and while they were growing up. They've not been able to break free from those labels that is preventing them from maximizing their potential or living their best life. So it is very important that you watch the labels you give to yourself. Don't call yourself a procrastinator. So let's say I want to give you a task to do, and I say, please, can you do this task for me? You say, sir, I'm a procrastinator. Once you say that, your brain will want to prove you right. So you've given yourself a self-image of a procrastinator. And what will happen is over time, you will subconsciously, okay, you will subconsciously do things to prove to me that you are a procrastinator. And it has been said that 95% of our non-cognitive behavior or activities are controlled by our subconscious mind, the part of our mind we don't see, we are not even aware of. And that is the way we've been designed. Our subconscious mind was designed in such a way that it can help us automate our life. Okay, so we live on autopilot. So some of the things we do, we don't have to think about it. because thinking about an activity before you do it becomes so stressful to the brain. So when you do something over and over again, it creates a neural pathway pattern in your head, and your brain begins to automate it. So you don't have to think to do a certain thing. And that is why it's very, very important that at some point in our life, we pause and ask ourselves, are we living by default or are we living by design? So if you want to have a good head start this year, if you want to activate the power that you have, if you want to activate the power of the now, you need to always make evaluations and make sure that you are not living your life by default, but you are living your life by design. And it's also important that you learn how to separate your performance from whom you are. I see a lot of people who do some stuff, and then when it's not right, they try to describe themselves, try to tag themselves with their performance. No, who you are is different from your performance. Your performance is only a reflection of your level of consciousness. Whatever you are doing now, you are acting based on the knowledge that you have at the moment. And if you know better, you will do better, right? So I always tell myself I'm one of the best speakers in the world. And even if my presentation today does not work, it doesn't mean I'm a bad speaker. It only means that my speech today did not work, but I'm still one of the best speaker. And all I need to do is I need to find out what and what did not work. I am very, very careful about the labels I give myself, because the labels you give yourself begin to shape who you are, and it begins to shape your reality, and you start acting inconsistent with the labels you've given yourself. So another reason why people don't take action is perfectionism. So we have so many people who are perfectionists. They want to get it right at the first. They don't want any mistakes. They don't want anything that they don't want anything short of perfection. They want everything to be absolutely perfect. But the truth is, sometimes perfection is like an illusion because it does not really exist, right? So whatever you call perfect can always be perfected. So don't allow the perfect your need or your quest for perfection to prevent you from taking action. A lot of people will say, no, 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 I want to start it this way, I want to start it that way. I remember I saw a quote, and the person said that if you if your first business started out very, very well, it means it started very, very late, right? So what that means is that you're not necessarily expected to be great to start, but you need to start to be great. You don't necessarily need to have all the resources you need. You don't necessarily need to have all the knowledge. You don't necessarily need to have all the skill set you need to thrive in what you need to do. All you need to do is just get the basics and go into action. And that's how you become a better person. That's how you gain mastery. That's how you improve yourself. That's how you grow. That's how you become a better person. So don't allow your need or your quest for perfection to prevent you from doing what you have to do. I know you have so many plans you want to do, and you're waiting for the ideal situation. You're waiting for the ideal moment. You're saying, as long as I get this together, as long as I get that together, listen, there will never be an ideal situation. No matter all you have, there will always be something missing. And if you keep waiting for that ideal situation, you will never accomplish anything. You will never do anything meaningful and significant. So if you want to activate the power of the now, if you want to give yourself that boost, if you want to give yourself that leap that you need to thrive, don't allow your need for perfection, don't allow your quest for perfection prevent you from taking action. You will never have that ideal. You know that moment you're waiting for you to get a certain amount of money, for you to meet this person, for you to, go to a certain place, for you to probably get your first degree, for you to, there will never be that ideal situation. Even once, when you get that, your first degree, let's be like, okay, let me get married. Okay, so when you get married, okay, let me have kids. So when you have kids, okay, let the kids get into the school. All of these situations will keep coming up and keep coming up, and you discover you keep procrastinating, and you keep procrastinating, and you keep procrastinating. And most people are perfectionists because they are scared to make mistakes. Come on, the only way you can grow is when you make mistakes. The only way you can grow is when you make mistakes. I want to ask you a question. When did it become a crime to make a mistake? When did it become a crime to know? When did it become a necessity that we must know everything? See, knowledge is not a finite commodity. Knowledge is fluid in construct. It is always changing. All you know is not all there is to know. So if you are expecting for you to have all the knowledge in the world before you start, you will never start anything. right? So even as a little baby, right? When babies are learning how to walk, how do they walk? They walk by taking one step at a time, and then we encourage each step they take. Now, we encourage the imperfect step they take because we know that a baby's imperfect step is better than a baby's perfect crawl. So when a baby is crawling, right, know that the baby's perfect crawl can never be compared to a baby's imperfect step. So you must learn how to go from crawling to walking, even if a lot of us have mastered the art of crawling. So the crawling is our comfort zone. So we don't want to step out because once we stop crawling and then we try to walk, we'll definitely fall. Right? But I want to tell you that your imperfect step is better than your perfect crawl. So stop crawling. This is not the time. This is not the year to be crawling. This is the time for you to stand up and go into action. There will never be an ideal situation. Then one of the points that is preventing people from acting in the now is fear, right? So we all already know fear. So the question, so we ask ourselves, what if, what if, what if, what if? So what if I organize this conference and nobody shows up? So what if I write that application and they don't accept me? So what if what if I? And this thought alone, this mindset, this thought process has prevented a lot of people from taking action and has made a lot of people that they no longer do the things that they need to do. Listen, fear is only an illusion that we create in our head. And most of the things we are scared of does not really, most times it doesn't even happen. And we discover that we scare ourselves a lot with things that might never get to happen. And why do we have to hold so much onto false realities? Right? So don't allow fear to hold you down. Don't allow the what if, the what if. So instead of asking yourself, what if I fail? Ask yourself, what if I succeed? I mean, why can't I succeed? Why not me? Why can't I do this? So don't allow the fear. And the reason why most people get caught up in the fear is what we call analysis paralysis. So they keep analyzing, they keep analyzing, they keep analyzing, they keep analyzing. And the truth is, once you keep asking yourself so many questions, so many questions, so many questions, once you keep analyzing, fear creeps in and then you become scared. Now remember, your brain is not designed to make you succeed. Your brain is not designed to help you make money. Your brain is only designed to keep you alive. That's what your brain is designed for. So once you want to step out of your comfort zone to do something that you've never done before, your brain is going to freak out. And your brain will give you reasons why you should not do it. Your brain will tell you, hey, don't be stupid. You're stepping out of the familiar. You're stepping out of your comfort zone. You're going to do something. So there is no guarantee. So your brain wants certainty. Your brain wants guarantee. So that is why your brain is designed to keep you safe, to help you to survive, not to succeed. So if you want to succeed, you must learn how to consciously reprogram yourself and act in spite of your fear. Okay, so you feel the fear is there, and you hold the fear and still do it regardless. That's why they say courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. So right now, I want you to think about your goals. I want you to think about your dreams, all the things that you've always wanted to do, and you've been procrastinating, you've been procrastinating, you've been procrastinating. I want you to know that there are 7 days in a week, and some day is not one of them. Someday is not one of them, right? So this year, most of us have plans and we are saying, someday we are going to do this, someday we are going to do that, someday we are going to do this. Listen, someday is not one of them. There are 7 days in a week, and someday is not one of them. And today is the 16th day of January. You either tell yourself one day or day one. So it is left for you to say, today I'm no longer going to be saying one day I will do this, one day I will do that. Instead, you say, today is the day one, and I am kicking off with this. My friend gave me a funny quote. He said that procrastinators are leaders of tomorrow. And you know what that means? Tomorrow never comes, right? So they say, tomorrow I'm going to do this. Tomorrow I'm going to write a book. Tomorrow I'm going to write that proposal. Tomorrow I'm going to, register for that masterclass. Tomorrow, and there is no such thing as tomorrow. Tomorrow will never come. So they are the leaders of tomorrow, which means they never become leaders because they are always hoping for tomorrow to come for them to do stuff. Remember, I told you initially at the inception of this conference that Nothing is ever happening in the past or in the future. Everything that is happening in the now. And it is what you do in the now that will shape your life and shape your destiny. So look through your life and ask yourself, which of this problem is holding me down? Am I in a hopeless situation? Am I in a helpless situation? Am I a perfectionist? Am I allowing fear to hold me down? Okay. Now remember that you don't have to always have all the knowledge. You don't have to get it right from the start. But your ability to learn, they say experience is not the best teacher, but evaluated experience is. So you must constantly evaluate your process and ask yourself, what can I do differently? What can I do differently? And it was Churchill who said that success is jumping from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. It is your only failure that can launch you to success. So I will tell everyone of you today, don't be scared to make mistakes. Fail forward. All you know is not all there is to know. There will never be a perfect or ideal situation. All you have is in the now. The changes you want to make is in the now. Your destiny is happening in the now. And what you do in the now will determine where you will be tomorrow. Okay, what you do in the now will determine whether your life will be an example or a warning. So it is left for you to make that choice, right? The choices that we make every day keeps shaping our lives. So, what choices are you making today? What are you willing to do? So, as I'm wrapping up with this session, I want you to take a pen and write 5 things that you've always wanted to do that you've been putting off. Start tomorrow. Even if you want to start a business, design a flyer, put it out there. I remember last year December, I organized the conference in less than 10 days. It was crazy. You know, I told my friends I want to organize this conference in 10 days. And I told them some of the speakers I wanted to bring to the event. They told me it's not possible to pull off such events in 10 days. And it was a free event, which means I have to fund everything. It was, you know, I just designed a flyer and I put it out there. I said, I'm doing a conference and I want you guys to come. I've not confirmed the speakers because I knew it's kind of if I wait for that ideal moment, if I wait for that moment when I'm certain that everything will happen, it will never happen. So once I designed a flyer, I put it on Facebook. I say, hey, I'm organizing a conference. I started sending mails to the speakers and everything. And before you know it, I made a list about 12 speakers I wanted to contact. I sent them mails and some of them responded. And that was how it was going. I called for volunteers. And from there, in less than 9 days, the conference was already a reality and we made it happen. So don't think too much. Just ask yourself, what little part of this plan can I do tomorrow? What call am I supposed to make? Maybe it can just be one phone call. That phone call you've been putting off and say, I will do it later. Maybe it can be that meeting, it can be that book that you want to read. It can be, sometimes maybe you're trying to write a book and you're still contemplating where should I start. Just start. The truth is nobody has a blueprint of how to start. Just start. Starting is the way to start. So whatever it is that you want to do, just get right at it. Don't think too much about it. When you think too much about it, you might get stuck in analysis paralysis. Don't talk too much, just go into action. Remember, I said at the beginning, if you don't have confidence, you will always find a way to lose. That's why I'm always careful about the people I have in my circle. I'm always careful about the words people say to me. If I discover you are a negative person, you're always telling me how it can't be done. Whenever I'm sharing ideas with my friends and I tell them this is what I want to do, and everybody's telling me it can't be done, it can't be done, it can't be done. I say, okay, hey, everybody chill. Now tell me how it can be done. I want to know how it can be done. And from the people start thinking, and the truth is, when you give your brain a task, your brain always try to find answers to the question you ask your brain. So ask yourself, how can this be done? And remember, the word can't is very, very powerful, right? So when you say you can't do something, you need to say you can do it 21 times to displace that one time you say you cannot do it. And success is 80% psychology and 20% strategy. So until you get it right in your head, it will be difficult for you to go into action. Confidence is very, very important in activating the power of the now and in becoming a better version of yourself. So I want you to have a list of the 5 things that you want to do this year, no matter how big it is. Break it down to the simplest action and start doing it. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Listen, an imperfect action is better than a perfect intention. An imperfect action is better than a perfect intention. So I know a lot of people who have good intentions, but they are not taking action. Listen, the world does not make room for people who have intention. The world does not give space. Listen, you might have all the good intentions in the world, but until you step out and start taking action, the world will not listen to you. Your good intention will not pay your bills. Your good intentions will not give you the breakthrough you need. It is only your action. I remember that the problem we're having in the world today is that we have so much information. So our problem is not even lack of information. We have it in abundance, but it is how can we apply this information? How can we use this information that we get in order to create our ultimate destiny and make the rest of our life the best of our life? So make a list of the 5 things you want to do. Write that and ask yourself, day one. Okay. So all those things you'll be saying one day, one day, one day, one day. Now change your list and say day one. So day one is tomorrow. The one can even be in the next 30 minutes after this, this masterclass. You can say day one, I am doing this right away. Okay. So I'm coming to the end of my session and I would like to get questions from you. I'm coming to the end of my session and I'd like to get some questions from you. So if you have any question you want to ask, please let me know so we can quickly wrap up. And before that, I want to speak about habits. Habits is very, very important, right? Habits are a consistent behavioral pattern that will be developed over time. And the habits that you're developing is very, very important in shaping who you are. So it was Jim Rohn who said something, said, motivation gets you started, okay, but habits keep you going. If you really want to constantly activate the power of the now, you must develop healthy habits. You must develop habits that can help you to grow. So always ask yourself, what has brought me to this point in my life? What have I learned from it? What can I change? What can I improve? What can I stop doing? Who do I need to know? Who do I need to meet? Where do I need to be? Because our lives are shaped by the people we meet, the places we go, and the things we hear. Right. So what do you need to hear to get to where you want to be? Who do you need to meet to get to where you want to be? And where do you need to go to get to where you want to be? So it's very, very important that you check your habits and ask yourself, these habits that I've developed, is it helping me or is it slowing me down? Is it working in my progress or is it a liability for me? So I've come to the end of today's class and I want to say to you, you are the best of the best. You are the best of the rest. And there is no best as your best. Thank you so much for listening to me. I will
Thank you
be
so much, sir, Mr.
expecting your
Emmanuel.
questions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel Jacobs. You spoke beyond our expectation, and I'm really excited. I'm sure everyone
Thank you
also
so
is
much.
excited. This session was fire. I picked a lot from this session, and I trust everyone also picked something from the session. Please, if you have questions, you can quickly send in your questions because we'll be ending this session very soon. We have another session by 7 p.m. You'll be joining with the same link, so you don't need to. You have to go because we are live on YouTube. We need to put the other session live on YouTube. So you join with this same link. So please send in your questions. We have less than 5 minutes to the end of this session. Please, if you have questions, send your questions. You can use your voice and then you can also send in the chat box. Okay, sir, we have a question here.
Yeah.
Must I always have a goal at every point in time?
Okay. That's a very good um question. Must I always have a goal at every point in time? Now, let me tell you something. Human beings are goal seeking creatures. We are always designed to look for something. And when you don't have something definite you are looking for, you will look for anything. So let me say this way. A goal helps to keep you focused. A goal helps to to help you to put all your resources in the right use. So if you don't have a goal, so what are you going to accomplish? Right. So it's always very, very important that at every point in your life you set a goal for yourself and say, this is what I want to accomplish. Now, what does goal do for you? Goal helps you to select your friends. Go help you to select your habits. Go helps you to know how to use your resources because you don't have all the resources you need. There is scarcity of resources. So what Go helps you to do is you draw a scale of preference and know which of your need is important. So you know the difference between what is important and what is urgent and what is urgent and important. That's what Go does for you. So it is very, very important that you set for Go. So the problem most people have is that it's not that the M high and miss, but the M low and hit. And a lot of people cannot hit anything because they don't have a goal. So how do you even accomplish a goal you've not set for yourself? How do you even hit a target you've not set for yourself? So if you're not setting goals for yourself, you might actually be fulfilling someone else's goals. So make sure that you set goals for yourself. Make sure that you always have specific goals, have life goals, have financial goals, have time goals. And now, one important thing about setting goal is not even what you accomplish, right? But it is who you become in the process of accomplishing that goal, right? So it is very, very important that you always set goals for yourself because goals helps to shape you as an individual. Goals helps to discipline you. Yes, goal helps you to make discipline because goal basically is an ongoing pursuit for a worthy objective. Goal is an ongoing pursuit of a worthy objective. So which means you set a worthy objective, something that you wish to accomplish, and it's an ongoing pursuit. It's a pursuit because it requires time, it requires energy, it requires resources. So if you don't have a goal for yourself, you're going to dabble in life. And you're not created to be dabbling from one place to another to be doing things. Just like when you're going in this, when you're walking in this street and you don't have an objective, you don't have a goal, you don't have where you're going to. I mean, I can tell you where you're going to say nowhere. I can ask you, okay, come join me. I have a place I'm going to. And then that's the way life is when you don't have a goal. At every point in our life, our brain is always asking ourselves, what do we want? What do we want to accomplish? So you have to now intentionally decide what you want to accomplish for yourself. So goal setting or having goals is very, very important. And then goal will also help you to make progress. So when you set goals for yourself, so you know when you've hit your goal and when you are short of the goal. So when you hit your goal, what do? You celebrate your wins and you look for things you can pick up and reach for a higher goal, right? Because when you don't have goals for yourself, life becomes boring. You know, you see a lot of people who get bored easily. Who always say, I'm always bored, because they don't really have anything exciting they are reaching out for. If you are living in a place called forward, constantly reaching, desiring, and aiming for more, you discover that life becomes very, very interesting, thrilling, and more fulfilling. So as long as you have breath in your lungs, as long as you have 86,400 seconds, you know, every day, you must always have goals. You must always have things you are reaching forward to. And always remember that your goals can be broken down into smaller milestones, right? That can allow you to celebrate and celebrate each little progress you make because progress will help to increase your motivation and get you going. So I think
So
that's it.
we have two more questions. One is
Okay.
from Olarunke. The question goes thus: Sir, people usually say there's time for everything. How can one harness the power of now while still considering that there's something called the right time? Or is right timing an illusion? That is the first question. Will you go with that now and then I read the second one?
Okay, let me go with that now.
All
So
right,
can you
sir.
read the question again, please?
Okay. People usually say there's time for everything. How can one harness the power of now while still considering that there's something called the right time, or is right timing an illusion?
Okay. For me, I think there is no such thing as a right time, but you have to make the timing right for everything, right? So what that means is that whatever it is set to accomplish, there will never be the right time for that incident to happen. You you always fail forward, fail your way to success. That's what I have to say. So anything like you've designed, though basically right, there are sometimes when you need to, prepare. There is seasons of preparation, there is seasons for learning, growth, and everything. But make sure that you understand that at this point or at this phase in your life, this is what you should be doing. That is why I say when you set a goal. So let's say my goal is to how do I say? Okay, my goal is to become a multi-billionaire or become a billionaire in the next 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it is, right? So this is what I want to accomplish. So my first question is, what can I start to do now to become that billionaire. So I won't start looking for how to get the billions, right? I'll ask myself which skill set or what knowledge do I need to have that can position me so I can start getting the billions. So you prioritize your goal and what you need to accomplish and get right at it. My point is, if you keep waiting for the right time to do stuff, there will never be that right time for it to happen because now is all we have, right? So tomorrow is not even guaranteed. So I think it's even arrogant, for you to think that you can put something off tomorrow and just wait for tomorrow to come so you can do it. That's why Mark Twain said something. Mark Twain said, never put off tomorrow what you know you will never be happy if you did not do before you die. So, which means that anything you want to put off tomorrow, make sure it's something that even if you don't get to do it, you'll be fine, right? So, my point here is understand that there are some things that might be important, but they are not urgent. That's why goal setting is very, very important. Planning is important. So you know the ones that should come first and the one that should come afterwards, right? So when you've made that plan, when you decide this is what is important, this is what is urgent, this is what is important and urgent. So which one am I going first? Then get right at it. But there will never be a perfect timing for you to do something. So all you have to do, so even maybe sometimes when you're reaching for an opportunity, right, and the opportunity is not coming, all you have to do is just keep preparing because you never can tell the time when the opportunity comes. That's why they say luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So luck will not tell you this is the time I'm coming. That's why at every point in time you are always getting prepared and getting ready for that opportunity to come for you. So don't wait for the right time. Rather make the timing right, which means you are always prepared for whatever opportunity, for whatever change, for whatever goal, for whatever thing that you're seeking for. Make sure that you are constantly getting yourself ready to grab it. There is a difference between taking your time and wasting. I know some people say, I'm taking my time, I'm taking my time. Whenever you say you're taking your time, make sure you are not wasting your time because people use that to make excuses for their inaction, why they're not doing anything. They say, I'm waiting for this to happen or I'm waiting for that to happen. The truth is, if you look at people who actually get things done, they don't always wait for the perfect situation. They just start, and then most of them made mistakes, and all they did was they go back, they learn, and then they came back again, and then they came back again, and then they kept trying till they got it right. So I wouldn't
Thank you, sir.
really, yeah.
We have another question, and that is the last question. After this question, we'll be ending the session. I observe that fear is one of the major factors that hinders people from working on their set goals. How can one tackle fear? We have less than 3 minutes to the end of this session. We've exceeded the allotted
Okay,
time, but we still have
yeah,
time
okay.
that we can do this session.
So
How
basically,
can one tackle fear? Is the
how
question.
can one handle fear?
Tackle fear.
Okay,
Okay, let me come
now,
again with the question. I observe that
okay,
fear is one of the major factors that hinders people from working on their set goal. How can one tackle fear?
the truth is, the only antidote for fear is action. That's just it, right? So fear will always be there. That's why I said initially that courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. It means that at that point, you're really, 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 really scared. Okay, you're really, really scared, and you know you are afraid, but you still choose to do it afraid. Just like when I'm doing public speaking coaching for people who wants to develop their public speaking skills, and then most of them complain to me about stage fright. I tell them at some point, even till date, most times I still have stage fright. I still feel nervous before I get to speak on stage, and I tell them that nervousness is an energy, right? It's an energy, so it depends on what you choose to do with that energy. So most times we feel the fear and still do it regardless. And you discover that, let me use public speaking as an instance, because public speaking, the fear of public speaking is ranked high after the fear of death, right? So some people would rather die than speak in public. That's how bad it is because the fear of public speaking is real. So most people, so when you discover that, I discovered that once you've taken that first step, you've grabbed the mic and then you start talking. You might be nervous the first 2, 3 minutes, but once you are consistent in it, once you've taken that leap, the fear begins to go away because at the end of the day, the fear is all in your head. These are those things that you've always imagined that are not real. Fear basically means false expectation appearing real. So that's why you have to constantly be careful of the labeling you give to yourself. Be careful of the people you listen to, right? So some people will grow that fear in you. So you don't have to grow the fear, you have to starve the fear, right? So starve that fear by taking action and by listening to people that will encourage you and support you and give you reasons why it can be done. So the only antidote for fear is action because if you keep waiting for the fear to go away, the fear never goes away. The fear will always be there. It is left for you to feel the fear and do it anyway. So you don't know what the outcome is going to be. You know you are afraid, and you tell yourself, okay, I know I am afraid. It's okay to be afraid, but I am still going to do it. And you discover in the process of taking action, the fear goes away. So that's my answer to that question.
Thank you so much, sir. This session has been really wonderful. Thank you for this great session. I trust everyone enjoyed the session. By 7 p.m., we're having another session with Diana Reese. So we'll be disconnecting in a few minutes. Sir, do you have any parting words before we go offline? You're mute, sir. You're mute.
Sorry. Okay,
Yeah,
hello.
yeah, we can hear
Yes,
you
all
now.
I have to say is all this knowledge that we've shared, right? It won't make much difference until you take action, right? So action is the key word. So we talked about the power of now. So everything we've said or everything we are talking about in this masterclass until you start application, right? So you've gotten the information, try as much as possible to understand the information and then go into action. Always remember that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to feel afraid. It's okay to feel confused. It's okay to doubt yourself most times. But what happens is not whether you feel afraid or not, but what you do with that fear. That's what makes the most difference in your life. So um, that's all I have to say. And I would also love to
Thank
connect
you
with
so
you
much, sir.
people. I would love to connect with you. So you can connect with me on Instagram at meet Emmanuel Jacob. And maybe you have any other question you would like to ask. So I would love to
Okay.
connect with you and get to
What
know
about
you
your
more.
LinkedIn,
Maybe
sir?
okay, my LinkedIn is Emmanuel Jacob.
Okay, we'll connect with you. Please take down the name, meet Emmanuel Jacob on Instagram and LinkedIn, Emmanuel Jacob. Thank you so much, sir, for this great and exciting session. We hope to call you again for
Yeah, thank you so much.
another great session. We would have continued this
Yeah.
session. Personally, I enjoyed the session and I wish it doesn't stop, but we have another session by 7 and we need to go off and then come back online. You can join the next session, sir.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right, so you join with this same link.
No
We'll be
problem. Thank you so
connected
much
back
for.
after disconnecting in less than 5 minutes. So thank you so much for joining us, leaders. In less than 5 minutes, you can connect back to the session we're having with Diana Reese. So everyone, thank you for joining. You can disconnect now and join in less than 5 minutes. Thank you so much for this great session. Thank you so much for the great session. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for facilitating this session, sir. So you can disconnect now.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, you can join in less than five
Yeah.
minutes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.